How do you identify oneself? By your name, your name, and your appellation. The last name, most of us go by that when we think about our family lineage, our background. But that's not really your name. And to let you know that we are so-called slaves, which we're not slaves, only Slavics can be slaves, but bonded freemen. What you can do is hit the internet, type in your last name, then put family crest after it, or either coat of arms. And after you type that in, like my last name is Thomas, or my ex-relation, the last name I used to go by because I'm a Moor now, my new appellation, a title, whatever you want to call it, is Bay. My ex-relation was Thomas. If you type in Thomas on the internet and put coat of arms, a family crest after it, you will find out and see what region or what area that name comes from. And all life started from Africa, but the Europeans, if your name comes from Europe, that shows you that we belong to somebody or we're somebody's property. So who's your daddy? Who's your owner? Who's the person that controls the world? You're not black, that's the color of your tennis shoes. You're not African American, you can't be both. You're not a nigger, you're not a Negro. But your last name shows that someone has ownership over us through the birth certificate, through the social security card, etc. So just to see exactly who's your daddy, who's your owner, who's your boss, or who's running the world, type in your last name and put coat of arms or family crest behind it. And this will show you exactly who runs the world or who has control over your family. Just because you have that last name, that doesn't make you, and that's not you. We come from Bay L's, and a couple of other appellations, titles, nomens, and the names that we actually are walking around claiming and thinking that it's actually us has nothing to do with us. So when you get time, I know people don't like to listen. They think everybody's on some kind of BS and trying to trick them. But when a person take over another culture, first thing they do is get rid of their history. So if you want to know who's your daddy, who's your boss, who runs the world, who's over you, because I know we all believe in, religion because we were taught that's what we're supposed to believe. But I don't believe in religion. I know what I'm supposed to know instead of believing. Believing is for people that don't really know what's going on. So if you really want to get into this and see actually that being a Moor is not us trying to down Europeans or nobody else. It's just us fighting for our birthright. Like Hitler nationalized Germany. Like Chavez did Venezuela. We just trying to get back to our own like these people do. So they had a right to nationality, but people don't think we have a right to it. So get on there, put your last name in, put coat of arms, family crest behind it. And in the comments below, leave a message and let me know what you come up with. I guarantee you it's going to come from somewhere in Europe. Even if you're a brother or a sister, it's going to come from somewhere in Europe. Now the Europeans, that's their last name, but they're still slaves by the Social Security and the birth certificate as well. So if you want to see who owns you, who's your daddy, who's your boss, who runs the world, take your last name, mine is Thomas, type in Thomas in the search bar, put coat of arms behind it or either family crest, even though coat of arms and family crest also comes from the Moors, like a lot of other things that they claim that they did, that actually comes from the Moors. We're not trying to start a battle, not trying to fight with anybody. We just want facts to be realized. And we want people to know that whoever's in charge, they control what history that you get. And that doesn't mean that the history is real. So if you really want to know the truth, you have to go back and research for yourself to see what's actually going on. If you listen to type in what did Obama have to say about the Moors? Why did he say Muslim law instead of Muslim law? Because he's giving you signs of what's really going on in the world. But most of us can't understand those signs because we don't know how to read them because we don't have that language. Everything is a language. When you talk about food, that's a certain language because there's words and names of food and seasonings that goes along with cooking. So when you think about cooking, you might, let's say if you say Roman noodles, that's something that's simple. That's not really a big chef deal, but Roman noodles, it has a name. And if you're not into the food world, certain names you can't recognize. I don't know what it is because you never studied that. But as you learn how to cook and you start studying different foods, that becomes a language. So it's just like everything else. Why Muslim? Muslim is everybody that comes from a fetus. So basically, I love my people. I'm a Moor, Matawala Bay, you know. Shanker is the rap name. Got my own trust now. Fighting back for my property and everything that belongs to me and my family. And we were supposed to get like the 40 acres and mule that they deny doesn't really exist. But I just wanted to do this video. You know, I'm still new to this. I'm still kind of nervous. I'm still fighting to become better with it. So y'all bear with me. But type in your last name. Put coat of arms and family crest. This to my brothers and my sisters. Europeans, I got nothing against you. I love everybody. Mexicans, I have nothing against you. I love everybody. But type in your last name. Put coat of arms and family crest. And down in the comments below, write and let me know what part of the world does your last name go back to. Not trying to fight anybody, not trying to stop any trouble. But we need to get back to the real and find out what's actually going on. America is a republic, not a democracy. Type in the last name, coat of arms, family crest after it. Who does it belong to? Who's your daddy? Who's your boss? Who runs the world? And who does America really belong to? The Moors. But that don't mean the Moors are running it right now. We under occupation. So type in your last name, coat of arms, and family crest. Let me know below what you find.